of fungus. We are back for episode number 10. We're in double digits now, boys and girls. This is your favorite go-to for hockey knowledge, hockey conversation, and a bunch of goofs. No, not the three of us are not goofs. One in the middle is. Welcome to Saving the Beauty. Yes, we're not. Episode 10. I am your host on the East Coast, Rob Cattell, the great one. Joined by the beauty on the West Coast, the great Carly Miyake, who we missed last show. She wasn't with us. She was out searching for cows in Nebraska, probably, but she wasn't with us. But she's back. Carly, thank you. Welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I was telling Ishmael before the show, my work is kind of coming down off its rush, so it's coming into summer, and it's actually really nice and peaceful and calm now. So.
Well, we missed you, Carly. It was not the same with you. I was stuck with Ishmael for the whole freaking show. I was like, oh God, when is this going to end?
Well, I missed you.
We made it through. And of course, that means the third co-host, the third wheel on the show, joining us from lovely downtown Toronto. He's been so busy this week, ladies and gentlemen, that Carly and I were messaging him on WhatsApp. He wasn't responding. We actually were going to put in an APB for him. We thought he was kidnapped or worse. But he's alive, and there he is, the great sound effect man himself, and I'm sure we're going to get one, the great Ishmael Fassi. Ishmael, how you doing?
Comes the money.
And there we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money,
money. All right, Shane O'Mac, that's enough. You plan on talking or just playing the song? What do you plan on doing here? So does that mean you're making a lot of money covering the Ishmael, by the way, ladies and gentlemen? He's covering for the hockey news because he's an important guy. We don't have anybody on this show. He's a hockey news employee. He's covering the AHL playoffs, and I'm sure we're all excited to hear about the AHL playoffs, aren't we, Ishmael? That's enough of that. No, I'm kidding. How are the AHL playoffs, Ishmael?
Well, the good thing is that's the only place where Toronto are in the playoffs. So that's one thing the Leafs fans can look towards. So
future.
I mean,
is the future bright for the Marlies?
Sorry,
is the future bright for the Marlies?
Well, right now they're looking. The kind of Leafs prospects aren't the best right now, but
they'll fit right in.
I mean, of course, the Leafs fans are watching them because Eastern Cowan is playing for the Marlies right now, and he's the future of the Leafs right now. So, right. And of course, they're in a playoff series with the Laval Rocket, which are the Montreal Canadiens AHL affiliate. So, good old fashioned Montreal-Toronto rivalry playing out right there in the AHL right now. So.
Well, I'm sure everybody came to watch our show tonight to hear about the AHL playoffs. No, not really. We're here to talk about the NHL playoffs, which are in full swing right now. We're in the second week already, and we've already said goodbye to 3 teams. 3 teams are gone. They're on the golf course with the Leafs and the Rangers. Now they're done. We're going to go over each series, but we're going to start with the 3-team series that have been finished. And, of course, we have a little farewell to all of them, accompanying me with my sound effects, but let's go over them, guys, boys and girls, and let's start with the first series that finished real quick. In fact, it was a sweep. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this. Last year, in the entire NHL playoffs, there was not one single series that went sweep. Not one. We've already had 2 this year. What does that say about the playoffs?
No,
okay, that's my word.
I mean, I will say that the Carolina and Colorado, especially Colorado, they're a juggernaut. Like I said this last week, and I'll say it again, they're a juggernaut. And Carolina, especially, they're pretty strong coming in. So that just speaks massively about how good they are.
Let's start with the first series that was a sweep. We had 2 of them, obviously. And that was Carolina and Ottawa. Carolina wound up winning the series 4 straight, 4-0. I will say this. I've heard people say, and Ishmael, I want to get your opinion on this. People are saying, oh, Ottawa was competitive. They put up a good fight. Let me explain something to you. Ottawa fans, if you're listening to me, please take this to heart, all right? You should all be ashamed of yourselves. Your team let you down. First of all, they didn't lead in a single minute of the entire series. They trailed the whole series. Number one. Number two, your big stars, they didn't produce. None of them. Number three, you fight so hard to get in the playoffs, and that's what you do. I understand Carolina's a good team. Don't get me wrong. There's no reason you couldn't have won a game or two in this series. So I'm going to make my prediction, and Ishmael would like to hear your thoughts on this. And I said this the other day to a couple of people I was talking to. There are still rumors that Brady Tkachuk is probably looking to get out of Ottawa. He's just not happy there. He wants to go into a big market where his brother is. His brother, Matt is in Florida. They won 2 cups. There's been a lot of rumors about Brady wanting to come to the States. So here's my prediction. We'll see if it comes true. The NHL draft lottery is May 5th. It's next week. I think that's Monday,
Tuesday.
I guess, right? Monday, Tuesday. It's Cinco de
Tuesday.
Mayo. Tuesday. Thank you, Carly. I'm making a prediction that if the Rangers, who are going to be in the lottery, do not get the first or second pick in next year's draft, they're going to take their number 1 pick and they're going to flip it to Ottawa and they're going to bring Brady Tkachuk to New York. It's my prediction.
Okay.
Ishmael, your thoughts?
So I so like I I think that might happen simply because we know one thing. I think we haven't discussed this on the show, is that Ottawa have been punished. They don't have a first round pick this year.
That makes my idea even more palatable. Interesting.
No, in case you haven't noticed, there are 31 first round picks this year, not 32. Ottawa's was taken away from them because of a penalty. We haven't checked what that was, but Ottawa's first round pick has been taken away by the league. So I think that makes yours a bit more. It makes more sense. So I think Ottawa will go ahead and take that offer. Yes, I believe that might be so.
Very interesting. What do you think, Carly?
If I think that's a really good option for him. One being that he's played multiple times with JT Miller as it is, so I could see him wanting to go and play for a team where he is comfortable already knowing some of the guys and playing with them on Team USA. I think Ottawa would be stupid if that came into light as a deal and they turned it down. I just don't see him staying there. He's not working out. The team's not working out. So something needs to change. He needs to step up as a captain, or he needs to get the hell out.
Well, the Rangers are looking to retool, as they said, not rebuild. You want to retool? The last time they retooled, they brought Artemi Panarin in 2017 via free agency. Now, obviously, Tkachuk would be a trade, but you want to retool? Give me some grit up front to go with Miller, and I'm pretty happy with that. So, anyway, Ottawa has officially left the building, and Ottawa, I'm sorry, but we have to, I guess, say goodbye to you guys. I know it's been a short visit to the playoffs, but in honor of Ottawa, this is for you, Ottawa. Guys, we have to say goodbye to Ottawa. Here we go. Everybody, if you know the music and if you know the words, please join in. Here we go. It's a very catchy song, by the way. It's called the Goodbye Song, believe it or not. Here we go. Let's sing it, shall we?
I don't think I know it.
It's time to go home.
Bye-bye, Ottawa.
It's like a preschool music.
It's time to say goodbye.
Goodbye, Ottawa.
So much fun, and you had so much fun.
Yes.
They had fun.
So much fun.
Bye, Ottawa. Bye, Senators.
So say goodbye.
Let's sing it together, guys. Goodbye, goodbye. Time to say. One more time. Goodbye, goodbye.
See you again.
All right, that's enough of that one. Just wanted to play that. So, Ottawa, we officially have now said goodbye to you, and I guarantee everybody that watches this show is going to have this stupid song in their brain after they stop watching us.
I feel like
I can't get it out of my brain.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Ishmael. Thank you very much. I don't know what the hell that was, but anyway. Anyway, let's move on, because I have more music for everybody else, guys. Believe it or not, that's not the first one. I got more.
Here we
The
go.
second team we have to say goodbye to. Again, another sweep. And again, I understand Colorado's a great team, great season, President Trophy winner, which is always a jinx, by the way. You don't want to be a President Trophy winner because it's usually bad news. And they did win the President Trophy winner, and they got to face the wonderful Los Angeles Kings, who I've hated since 2014 when they beat my Rangers in the Cup. Anyway, Kings came in after fighting just to make the playoffs, and what do?
Choke.
Swept out the door. That acquisition of Panarin that you thought was going to help, well, I know for a fact, he's not a playoff performer, although he did play okay during the playoffs. But the only sad thing about this playoff series, and I want to get your thoughts, Carly, because you're on the West Coast, is we had to say goodbye to one of the best players in NHL history. 20 years with one team, has most of the records for the Kings, won numerous Selke trophies for being a best defensive forward, won 2 cups, obviously. The great, and I do mean great player, one of the only players from Slovenia that I know has been in the NHL, Andrej Kopitar, has called it goodbye, said goodbye. That was his last game the other night, and very great scene watching the Avalanche all congratulate him on a great career, having the fans congratulate him, and Kopitar waving goodbye. That's going to be a big loss for the Kings. Carly, your thoughts?
Honestly, going into that series, I had hoped that the Kings would, perform a little bit better. Like you said, they fought to get in and then just choked for 4 games. Especially since it was Kopitar's last run, I was just kind of hoping that they would want to, try and maybe make it, a 6-game series or a 7-game series. And so I was just I have Colorado down as going to the actual end of the series for the Stanley Cup, but I was hoping that LA would have just put a little bit of effort in. I just wasn't expecting the sweep at all, especially with LA. So I feel bad that Kopitar had to end his career on a sweep. So yeah, it was kind of depressing on that end, but congrats to an amazing career for him. So yeah.
Michelle, do you have any thoughts on the LA Kings? Because basically they had no offense at all in the series. I mean, Colorado shut them down. I mean, I'm still not convinced that Colorado's goaltending is going to give them enough to make up to the finals this year, but against the Kings, they look pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, I always call Colorado a juggernaut, like the best two-way team in these playoffs, and I called it. I believe I'm the one who said that Colorado and Carolina, both teams who I predicted, by the way, would sweep their first round games this series last week. They are on a collision course to the Stanley Cup Finals, and that's where I stand up till now, and I stand by it by now.
Well, I will admit one thing. When you and I made our predictions last week, Ishmael, I did predict that Ottawa was going to be knocking out Carolina. I really had hopes for the Senators, and obviously that prediction didn't come true. I did pick Colorado to get through, so I got that one right. I did not have faith that LA was going to beat it, but I did think LA would get at least a game or two. But no, right out the door, 4 games straight. So we have to officially now, as well, say goodbye to the LA Kings. And in honor of the LA Kings leaving, I have this tribute music for the LA Kings as well. And again, people, please feel free to sing along.
See you later, alligator.
See you later, alligator.
In a wild crocodile.
In a wild kangaroo.
Time to
Here's what I do with
And this can go all day.
Yeah.
give a hug, ladybug.
Give a hug, ladybug. I love that.
Kiss.
Call them dumps. Big
Throw a
massive
kiss,
dumps.
jellyfish.
Okay, I got something.
Fat cat.
The fat cat.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this.
All right, that's enough of that one. I mean, we could just go whole day here. I mean, this music is just. I know I'm making Carly laugh. She's actually enjoying the music.
I
So,
really am, and then Ishmael's random sounds.
yeah, she throws these little sound effects in. But you had to know that I was going to come with sound effects, and I have more. I have other ones. So we have another one. We have one more to go, and we of course will play some goodbye music for them as well. So
That was a better
can't you
series
just
than the
imagine
2-week
what that
off.
might be? Yes, and that just happened just last night. The Battle of Pennsylvania between the Flyers and the Penguins. Sidney Crosby, the old guard, against the young kids from Philly. And, well, the Flyers came out to a very impressive 3-0 lead. I thought it was going to be a sweep because Pittsburgh was not showing any life at all. But here's what changed that series at Edmonton. And Ishmael will appreciate this. Pittsburgh swapped their goalies. Not that that was the main reason, but it gave them a boost. They took out Stuart Skinner, he of Edmonton, and they replaced him with Arturs Shilov, who Carly knows from his days with Vancouver, obviously.
And he was
And
outstanding.
I've actually, yeah, Shilov's played pretty well. And the Penguins went on to win game 4 and 5, so it set up a game 6 last night in Philly, where should the Flyers have lost last night, it would have created a game 7 with the potential of Philadelphia being one of only 5 teams, I believe, in NHL history that have lost a series after leading 3 games to none. It happens very, very rarely. Actually, Pittsburgh was one of the teams that actually did it years ago. But lo and behold, last night, and the game had to go to overtime, but in a 0-0 game going to overtime, which is very rare, Philadelphia came through with a goal by one of their defensemen, Cam York, and the Flyers, the baby Flyers, have advanced to the next round where they will face the Carolina Hurricanes. Your thoughts, guys, on the series?
I chose the Flyers to win that series, and I'm really glad that they did. They've just had an outstanding year. Again, Penguins, I'm glad that they did show up, because if we had 3 sweeps, that would have just been really boring and sad. And it's kind of also brings into question what the next future looks like for the Penguins with Malkin and all of them, who's staying, who's going. But I think with Carolina and the Flyers, I'm going to stick with the Flyers. I just feel like Carolina always chokes in the second round. So the Flyers are hungry and they're motivated, and I think that's what's going to help them. I just hope they don't, take the foot off the pedal right now.
Yeah, I also chose the Flyers, although I expected them to finish off the series in 5 games instead of 6. But yeah, like Pittsburgh, their method of the way they move, using like their top scorers have been those who are above the age of 36. Their top 6 scorers, at some point they're gonna have to rely on young talent sometimes. So they're gonna have to address their future at some point, and so they're gonna have to make some difficult choices in the future. But of course, experience goes a long way, but of course, at this point, it just didn't help out. So it could have helped them out close the this series if they were up 3-1 or 3-2. But unfortunately, Flyers came up with the win.
So the big question that we're going to be left with, and we're going to get your responses to this, is what happens to the old guard? And I'll give you 4 names. I'm going to give you the big 3 who came into the league together, pretty much, which are Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang. But I'm also going to throw in Erik Karlsson into that mix as well, because he's still on the Penguins as well. Thoughts on any or all these people coming back next year? If it's my decision and my thinking, I think 2 of the 4 will come back. All right? I think Crosby will definitely return next season to play, number 1. And I also think Chris Letang will return next season. I don't see Malkin coming back next year. I think he'll probably go back home to Russia to play in the KHL. And as far as Erik Karlsson's concerned, I just don't think he adds anything to the team. He's slowed down a lot over the years. Either they're going to trade him or buy him out, but I don't see Erik Karlsson being on the Penguins next year. So that's my thoughts. What are your guys' thoughts on those specifically those 4 players?
I'm going to have to agree with you on that one, just because I've been hearing rumblings of Malkin leaving. I don't think Crosby's going to go anywhere. I think he wants another chance at taking a run at the Cup. But also I think that if he slows down, he's going to be bored and doesn't know what he's going to do with himself. Karlsson, I don't think is going to... I think he'll leave the team like you mentioned. I just don't think he's ready to stop playing hockey. And then Letang, I think he's going to have at least another year or so in it. So I'm going to have to agree with you on all of that.
I think except for Crosby, everyone is one's job safety is not secure. Crosby is the one who's going to be staying, but everyone they're pretty much draft pieces to ensure a brighter future for Pittsburgh. Um, as far as Evgeny Malkin is concerned, like he says that he wants to play in Pittsburgh again, um, whether it's probably like on another year contract or a few years, but I think it's best if he goes back to the KHL. Of course, because that's the next competitive league after the NHL. So yeah, but apart from that, I think this is probably the last time we see all these heavy these senior players play together. I think so.
So you predict only one of the four will come back. Interesting. So, lo and behold, the Penguins. I mean, a lot of people didn't think the Penguins were even going to make the playoffs this year. It was a great job by their head coach Dan Hughes, former Ranger assistant, by the way. So the Penguins got in. We'll see what happens next year. But just as we had to do with the Senators, as well as the LA Kings, we now have to say goodbye to the Pittsburgh Penguins. So let's say goodbye to the Penguins, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, kids, it's time to say goodbye.
Oh my goodness.
Goodbye, see you next time,
I
everyone.
don't know this one. It's catchy.
Goodbye, see you next time, everyone.
Goodbye, Pittsburgh. Back to the steel yards you go in the coal mines. It's time for Penguins. Sorry, it's time for Pirates baseball in Pittsburgh, ladies and gentlemen.
Goodbye, see you next
I'm
time.
Donald
We'll
Trump.
see you next time, Pittsburgh. Take care.
I think we know Ishmael's favorite button.
Yes, this might be Ishmael's favorite, but we're going to cut it off in a minute because I'm afraid of what we might hear. All right, that's enough of that. So anyway, so goodbye to those three teams. They're gone, and all you people out there, if you come next week, look forward because there'll be more great music
sound
to
effects.
come with the show. Just the anticipation of wondering what will Rob come up with next for his goodbye music. That alone, it's almost as exciting as Ishmael's formerly great promo show and tell. But we anticipated something exciting. After a while, it kind of got played because Ishmael just didn't really give a shit. He just had no impetus to want it.
It was after his vacation last year that he just gave
Yeah, he lost it. He just lost the interest. So
Lost his
now
mind.
we're going to see what will Rob come up with some goodbye music for some of the teams as they leave. So that's something for everybody to look forward to next week. So stay
I'm
tuned.
excited.
But by next week, we'll be saying goodbye to
round
5
two.
other teams. 5 other teams will be gone. So I'm going to have 5 new musical songs next week saying goodbye. I know we're excited, aren't we?
We're excited, very excited.
But anyway, let's move on. I have no more music for this show. But let's talk about this
I got plenty.
What?
I got plenty.
I'm sure you do, because what else do you do about normal? Oh my god.
Good thing.
You know, we've heard this one already. You're starting to repeat yourself. All right, Rick Astley. All right. Are you done?
Next time I'm just gonna mute him.
We could mute Ishmael. So let's move on and let's talk about the series that are still alive.
Yes.
And there are 2 really big games tonight.
I'm excited.
2 big ones, all right? But before we talk about those, I want to talk about another series, which is probably my opinion. I want to get your opinions. Been the most competitive series so far, and that has been Montreal and Tampa Bay. It's been a back and forth series, and right now, as we stand recording this show, Montreal went into Tampa last night and came away with a victory. So believe it or not, Montreal is up 3-2. They're going to Montreal tomorrow night to play Game 6. Canadians with a chance to seal the deal and clinch the series to move on to the next round. What's very interesting about this series, I find it kind of interesting. The coach of the Canadians is Marty St. Louis. He won a Stanley Cup with who?
Roll call.
Tampa Bay.
Thank you. Just don't shout out at once here. He won a cup with Tampa Bay Lightning. He's beloved in Tampa Bay. I find it kind of interesting if St. Louis can get his little Canadians past the Lightning, who a lot of people, including myself, I have to admit it, picked the Lightning to make it to the finals this year. So I'm kind of rooting for Tampa tomorrow night because otherwise my prediction will go up in smoke. But it's been a great series, extremely competitive. I'll tell you what, I'm very impressed with Montreal's youth. They're going to be a really good team. They're a fast team. They remind me of the old Canadians. You know, you got a great back end with Lane Hudson and Gooley and believe it or not, Noah Dobson's not even playing in this series, so and he's hurt. He's a good player. So, and up front, you got Cole Caulfield, who's obviously a 50-goal scorer this year, but the guy that really impresses me, he's only 21 years old. The guy is going to be a beast. Is Yurov Slavkovsky. Scored a hat trick in game one. The one thing that surprises me, Ishmael, is I didn't think their goaltending would be good enough in this series. And Jakub Dobish, and I love saying that name, Jakub Dobish, he's played really well.
Yeah, I think so. I think like I think we mentioned this last week that it all comes down to goaltending in the end, and that has really showed up. And when you look at Andrei Vasilevsky's goaltending stats in the playoffs, we've seen how that kind of goes against him, and while that hasn't really damaged Tampa Bay so much in this, but we know that this is a young man's league kind of, and Jakub Dobes and this young Montreal Canadiens, they're the next up and coming super team as in like they're the next up and coming team. So I stood by last week that Montreal Canadiens will come up, and I stand by that.
Before we get to Carly, I mean, one of the things that's interesting about it, since the Lightning won their last cup 5 years ago, they have been eliminated in the first round of every single season. So, and Vasilevsky, who I predicted would be the playoff MVP this year, great prediction on my part, he is, I believe, 6-14 in the last 5 years. So he's not been good. No, not been good. I don't know what's going on over there, but Lightning in danger of getting eliminated tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. Carly, what are your thoughts on this series?
I think Montreal kind of wants it a little bit more than Tampa Bay right now. If you look at their games out of the 5, they've gone to overtime 3 times. Montreal just has not given up, and I think Slav with the hat trick was phenomenal. Hudson has been amazing. I just think the dynamics of that team and their drive and their motivation, and of course like their leadership, I think they're going to take it, and I have Tampa Bay on my draft, as in making it, but I honestly think Montreal has a solid shot at taking the series tomorrow. They're young. Again, Dobish, I've liked Dobish ever since he came on the scene. I think it was last year, and he just had a phenomenal start to his career, and I just think going into this series, he's been great in the net as long as he can keep that momentum. I'm quite interested to see how tomorrow's game is going to go, if it's going to go into OT or not. So I am very much hooked on this series, and I just think Montreal is going to come out on top.
If we stick on the East Coast before we head to the West, the other series, which is still alive in the East, is Buffalo Sabres. First time in the playoffs in 14 years, against the Boston Bruins. Obviously, Buffalo came out with a win in Game 1. Boston replied with a win in Game 2. Buffalo won both games in Boston over the weekend, the Game 4 convincingly, but then last game went to overtime, and that's where your great players show up. And Boston's David Pastrnak, who's a great player, great playoff player, scored a goal in overtime to give the Bruins the win. They are now going to Game 6, which will be tomorrow night in Boston. If I'm a Buffalo Sabre fan, I want to win tomorrow night really bad. I don't want to go to a Game 7 in Buffalo. There will be so much pressure on that team at home after not being in the playoffs in 14 years to win a first-round series. They haven't won a first-round series in 19 years. 19 years is a long time. As old as Ishmael. It's a long time. So if I'm the Sabres tomorrow night, they've switched goaltenders. They went from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I like saying that name. I love the name, Ukko-Pekka, but he's not playing now. Alex Lyon has been playing the last few games. He's played well, but I think tomorrow it's imperative, at least in my opinion, and I picked Buffalo to win the series. I think it's imperative for the Sabres tomorrow to win the game, or else they're going to go to a Game 7, and There'll be a lot of nervous people in Buffalo shaking and sweating and eating buffalo wings. That's for sure.
You know, I can't help but think that this series looks a lot like Philadelphia versus Pittsburgh. You know, you got a young team against a very experienced team, except for the fact that Philadelphia, they actually closed out their series against Pittsburgh. You know, despite the fact that Pittsburgh had the experience.
Excuse me.
You know, Buffalo, you know, they don't have the experience versus Boston. Boston has that experience factor that you need in order to have the upper hand to close out a series. You know, Buffalo doesn't have the experience that Boston has to close out. So so Boston has that upper hand to close out the series. So Buffalo needs to win. Otherwise, if it levels up going into Game 7, then Boston has the upper hand because they have that playoff edge, the experience edge to close out.
I kind of agree with you. I can agree with you, Ishmael. I really think it's a big game tomorrow for Buffalo to really come up with a win. Carly, what are you thinking?
One, I've been following this series just because I'm very proud of Buffalo because none of us pictured them making the playoffs beginning of the season. And so I just want to say to all Buffalo fans, like, even if they don't make it out of this series, though, they have to be proud of their team for finally making it back in the playoffs after 14 years. I think Tage Thompson has been phenomenal. Just the whole entire Buffalo crew has been great. And I think the other night when I went to overtime, you know, I just think Buffalo's getting a little bit tired. I don't know. But Boston with Pasta, just they're hungry as well. They want to make it past this first round as well. And I can't remember if they made it past the first round last time they were in the playoffs or not. But I just think both teams just want it really bad. And I don't want to see this going to Game 7 because, like you said, that's a lot of pressure on Buffalo. They already have so much pressure riding on their shoulders as it is. So I have Buffalo taking this game and winning the series. And fingers and toes crossed.
Well, we're going to see what happens. It's like I said, I think most people in the U.S. are rooting for Buffalo to do well because it's been so long since they've done anything in the playoffs. But, you know, they got a lot of pressure. They got to come through tomorrow night. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's move over to the West for the other three series. And I want to start with what I think has been, besides the Montreal-Tampa series, the other most competitive series. And we all knew this was going to be a great series. You have two great teams. Both of these teams could easily win the Cup. And it's unfortunate that they're facing each other in the first round, and one of them's going to be gone in a couple of games. And that is the Dallas-Minnesota series. As we're recording the show right now, Minnesota, after a big win the other night in Dallas, is up 3-2. And tonight, in a few hours, they're going to have a chance to finally close out a series. They haven't won a series in 10 years. They've been in the playoffs, they just haven't won a series. Now, as some of you may know, me being a Ranger fan, and I may have mentioned this on some occasions, my all-time favorite Ranger, well, I have a number of his hockey jerseys in my closet right behind me right now, is the great Matt Zuccarello. And I like to call Matt Norwegian Jesus because he's Norwegian, and I just think he's
catchy.
the holy grail. So in Game 1 of the series, the Wild dominated and won 6-1 with Zuki getting 3 points in that series. Unfortunately, he suffered an upper body injury. He missed the next 3 games, games 2, 3, and 4. Now, even though Minnesota did win one of those games, they struggled. They had to go to overtime a couple of times. They didn't play as well.
Overtimes in one
And I
game.
said to a lot of people, exactly, and I said to a lot of people, they need to have Zuccarello back in the lineup. Well, lo and behold, the King of Norway, he returned last game. And who scored the first goal in the game the other night? My little boy Zuki. Little boy Zuki, who will be a free agent at the end of the year, and we can talk about that in the offseason. So, I was known years ago, there's a hockey show on Sirius XM that I started calling back in 2018. This is a long time ago, right? And that was the year that the Washington Capitals won the Stanley Cup. And I had a little bit that I had with the NHL channel where I would call in and I would give Alexander Ovechkin a pep talk before every game, trying to coax him to get to the finals and win the Cup. And lo and behold, who won the Cup that year? Alex Ovechkin. So, this year, since my team is out of the playoffs, I have taken the Wild as one of my teams that is under my wing. And I'm going to do everything I can to get my little Minnesota Wild team into the finals and potentially win the cup. So if you're listening right now, Mats, I know you're in the locker room right now, you're getting prepared, you're having some Norwegian sausage or something to eat, getting ready for the
Getting ready
game,
for
some
warm-up.
protein. That's get some protein. The crowd in Minnesota is going to be jacked up tonight. You're back on the ice. My little Zuki, my Norwegian Jesus, you need to bring your Wild home tonight. You need to bring them home to a win. Because honestly, if that goes to a Game 7 again, I don't know about Minnesota in a Game 7 in Dallas. I really don't. What I was very impressed by last game is the Minnesota defense, outstanding 5-on-5. What's killing Minnesota in this series, and Ishmael, you put this stat on your little list here, the Dallas power play is absolutely killing Minnesota. As a matter of fact, the stats are 9 of their 13 goals in the whole playoff round have been on the power play. That's 75% of their goals. So tonight, whatever you do, Minnesota, don't take dumb penalties against Dallas because you haven't been able to stop their power play, and that's what's been killing them. For Dallas, and I see this other stat, Mikko Rantanen, where are you? You're non-existent. You're making all this money, and according to Ishmael's stats here, he only had 6 scoring chances in the whole playoff round, Ishmael? 6?
Yep.
That's terrible. So tonight will be a big game. I'm really looking forward to it. And the other stat that Ishmael came up with here is that Dallas has only scored 4 goals in over 277 minutes of even strength. Okay, that goes to what I just said. They're scoring all their goals on the power play. So, big game tonight. I really hope. I did pick Minnesota to go to the finals this year. So, again, I hope that prediction comes true. What are you guys' thoughts on this game tonight? Big game tonight.
Ishmael, I'll let you go with your stats. I'll let you chit chat a little bit.
Yeah. So the other part of that of that even strength goal that you have to mention is that they scored fourth, which is the lowest amongst active teams in the playoff. The other teams that are lower are the Sens and the Kings.
And where are they right now? They're gone.
Yeah, they're gone. So and this all despite the fact that that they're the 6th highest in shots on goal amongst the playoff teams. So
Interesting.
so I mean so you can so we were talking about how goaltending has been a big factor. So Jesper Wallstedt and the defense has come up big in even strength strength hockey. So. And of course, Dallas has to find an answer to get past Wallstedt. But apart from that, Mikko Rantanen has to get more chances on the ice for scoring. But the power play, that's been the only strength. When I say the only strength, it's been a big strength because like 9, that's the most power play goals that any team has scored in the playoffs. But of course, you gotta make room for even strength goals. So until that happens, I don't think Dallas is will have a fighting chance in this hockey series.
No, but we'll see what happens. I think tonight's a huge game. I'm really looking forward to watching it. 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. I'm sure a lot of people will be tuning in. I hope the ratings are good for it. I think the ratings overall for the hockey playoffs have been pretty good in the States. I'm sure they're great in Canada too. But let's move on. We have 2 series left to talk about. Again, both these series have been good. I mean, we'll talk about Vegas and Utah in a minute, but I want to go to the Edmonton-Anaheim series where the Baby Ducks, call them the Baby Ducks, they're another young team. They, I believe, are the youngest team. Correct me wrong, Ishmael. I believe they're the youngest team in the playoffs. I think they are.
No. All the 3 youngest teams are in the East. The Habs, the Sabres, and the Philly.
You know why they're not the youngest team? They do have some veterans like Kreider and Trouba. That brings their age down, but they got a lot of young talent. So right now, as we speak, the Anaheim Ducks are up 3-2, and they're playing tonight with a chance to close out the series. And again, this is another situation where finish the series at your home. Don't go on the road for a Game 7. I don't want to see a Game 7 in Edmonton. Don't want to see Connor McDavid on the ice with a chance to close out the series. And speaking of power plays, Ish, you gave the stat here that the Ducks' power play has actually been better than Dallas's power play. They're 7 for 14 on the power. That's 50%. That's outstanding.
Yep.
And again, this is a very high scoring series. The last game was 4-1. It was the lowest scoring game of the series. All the other games have been high scoring. Teams have come back from 2-0 deficits, 3 goals down. It's been a great, great series. A lot of people don't think McDavid is healthy, but then again in the playoffs, nobody's really 100%. In the last game, there were rumors he wasn't even going to play, but he did, and he produced. But again, Baby Ducks, Chris Kreider, my boy from the Rangers, Jacob Trouba. There's so many of you on the West Coast. The West Coast Rangers, I like to call them. I would love to see the Duckies win and advance. I want to see some of these new teams advance in the playoffs, some fresh blood. And, 10 years ago, maybe a little bit further, we were talking about this, my friend and I, the other day. The West Coast used to be the domination of hockey. You had LA, Anaheim, and San Jose. They were all really good about 10 years ago. And if your team went on the West Coast to play those 3 teams, it wasn't easy. The Kings are so-so. The Sharkies are coming up. Ducks are right there. And I think in a couple of years, you're going to see a situation where all 3 teams are going to be dominant again. But I'm looking forward to the game tonight. It's at 10 o'clock. And let's hope for Duck fans that they pull through tonight. Guys, thoughts?
I'm excited for this game just because Anaheim does have that chance that they can kind of kick the Oilers out, and I'm not a big Oilers fan. So I would not shed a tear if they happen to not win tonight. But going back to the McDavid thing, I mean, the last time he scored a goal, I think was like game 3 of this series. Last game they played, it was literally Leon Draisaitl who scored most goals, I believe, for the Oilers. So it's kind of one of those, like, McDavid's likely hurt, but also, like, he's not, I don't know, he's been quiet this series, and I think it would be really crappy for the Ducks to lose this series to the guy who, I don't know. I think that he just needs to, like, get a different team, in my opinion. But, I don't know. I just want to see the Ducks go. The Ducks have been great to watch. I think that the dynamic of the younger players and then the ex-Rangers, I think that it just has been a really good mesh this year. And I would love to see the Ducks go to the second round and bye-bye Oilers. That's what I'm hoping.
And don't forget, and I'll let Ishmael talk in a minute, don't forget they have a new coach. Of course, our friend Nick's favorite coach, that would be Joel Quenneville. Joel Quenneville's a legendary coach. He's won cups. He's got I think he's number 2 all-time playoff wins in his career. They got a serious coach now who's going to mold that team into a great team, and he's done it quickly. So, if you put him on the bench against the Oilers coach, don't get me wrong, Chris Knobloch, good coach, but can't compare to a Joel Quenneville there. So, Ishmael, what are your thoughts on this series?
Well, personally, the Anaheim Ducks are a fun team to watch, of course.
Yes.
And of course, like I obviously, like, I feel for Edmonton fans, like they've gotten 2 opportunities at the Cup, but it's time to give someone else a shot. Like they've been given, they've been given too many chances, and to be if they stretch this to 6, 7 games, all their credit, but that just shows that if a young and scrappy Anaheim Ducks is pushing them, then like the problems are still there.
Don't get me wrong, the Oilers goaltending, which has always been a bugaboo with the team, it's been okay. I mean, Connor Ingram and Tristan Jarry, they've been all right. They haven't been dominant, but I don't think they're the reason that the Oilers are down in the series. But I'll still say until they get a solid number 1 goaltender, the Oilers are never going to win a cup. That's just my prediction. So we'll see what happens tonight. We got one more series left to talk about. Watched it last night.
One's been good.
And that's Vegas, Utah. What a fun game was last night. We had a double overtime. We've had a few double overtime games. We had a double overtime game last night with the series tied up at 2-2. And the Vegas Golden Knights won the game in double overtime on a shorthanded goal. Well, they're all over the place, former Rangers. Another former Ranger, Brett Howden, with the goal last night. He's been a good player for the Knights since he's been over there. So you got Vegas up 3-2 in this series, going back to Utah, where the crowd in Utah, have you watched any of the games in Utah? They have been so great, so loud. It's their first experience for playoff hockey. Those Mormons, they know how to party, those Mormons. Let me tell you, they are loud and proud in Utah. But I love this series. It's been fun to watch. I know a lot of people would love to see Utah come through because, again, it's their first time ever in the playoffs. I still believe that Vegas is going to get through the series. I'm very happy with John Tortorella as their coach. He's one of my favorite coaches of all time. he seems to have molded them into a better defensive structured team, and that's what they needed. They have the talent on Vegas. It just seems like they didn't have structure. Well, he's only been there for a short period of time, but I think their defensive structure has been a lot better since he's taken over, and I would love to see Torts get this team through to the next round and beyond. So we'll see what happens. What are you guys' thoughts on this series?
So,
I mean, I think. No.
oh, I was just gonna say that I love the owner of Utah, Ryan. He
Ryan Smith.
posted, yes, he posted because you know how Utah was in Vegas for the first 2 games. Well, he said that if you bring your Vegas jersey to the team's
I
store
saw
for the
this. I
first
saw
home
that,
game,
yeah.
he will take your
Yeah.
Vegas jersey and give you a free Utah jersey. And they had like thousands of trade-ins, and then they ended up winning
That's
that
weird.
game.
If you're a Vegas fan, you're going to give up your jersey for the other team? I found that
I
kind of
was
odd.
I was like, honestly, like, heck yeah, that's a sweet jersey. I just think one that was phenomenal. That was so funny, but also like smart on his part to get all those Utah jerseys and seats. I've loved Utah's determination to stick it to Vegas, and they've held their own. I haven't really been following this series as much just because of timing during the day. I have Utah coming out on the win. I hate Vegas. I like Torts.
Yes, I know
I hate
you do.
Vegas. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I'll be happy if either one move forward. I still just hate Vegas. But I just think Utah might have it in them if they can just get past these next 2 games. Fingers crossed. Wishful thinking on
Ish,
my
what
part.
about
but
you?
yeah.
Like you know, like I wish I could be on your side, Carly, but you know, like
Yeah.
John Tortorella has been the difference maker. Like, you know, ever since he's taken up, it's I believe the Vegas's record has been 10-3-1. So, I mean,
Yeah, I like
that's been a massive difference. So, I mean, I don't know, like I don't like it's not a coincidence that it's just been so different. And you know, I've always honestly called Jack Eichel the best American pure striker. You know, even though Austin Matthews is a Leaf player, and you know, like I just and you know, Pavel Dorofeyev, Piev, and that Mitch Marner kid as well. So I mean,
Mitch Marner.
of course, like I mean, they've got they've got some great talent, of course. I mean, I think this is one team that still isn't past its prime, you know, from its Stanley Cup winning days. So I think unlike the other teams we've gone over, so I think they still have the fire in them.
Well, when we reconvene next week for our next episode, we will be down to 8 teams that'll be left in the chase for the Stanley Cup Finals. So all first rounds will be over, and then we can see how our predictions have stood up going into the next round, and we're going to go from there. Like I said, we have 3 already done, 5 more still to come, and they will be done by the end of this week. So it'll be a lot of exciting action taking place in these series, and we'll see how they transpire. And like I said earlier, we're also going to have the NHL Draft Lottery, which I know, Ishmael, you have it down here as May 4th on your stats.
Yeah, that was my
I believe
bad.
it's
Yeah,
May
it's
5th.
May
I think
5th,
it's
yes.
May 5th. I think
But
you're wrong.
the Tuesday is a correct date, yes.
Okay, but it is May 5th.
Yeah.
They do it's on Cinco de Mayo, so I'll be having Taco Tuesday and watching the draft. And actually, what's interesting, guys, I believe all 3 of us will be in that draft lottery. Are we? Am I correct about that?
Yeah.
And I know I am.
Definitely with
But
Vancouver.
Carly, you got 2 teams in the hunt because you're a
I
phony.
just don't think
and
the
you root for
Sharks
2
are going to
teams.
be as high up.
But-
Vancouver.
But here's the big thing. Here's the big thing for the Leafs. Like,
Oh, no.
if any one team from 6 to 17, I believe, over jumps over the Leafs and drops them below the top 5, that pick turns into a Boston pick.
Ooh. Oh, I can't wait to see your reaction next week. Oh boy, this could be fun. Oh, that'll be Carly. Let's root for that to happen
I know.
because we want misery. We want Ishmael to have as much misery as
So
possible.
So
one
next week
so
we'll
two
both wear our Maple Leaf sweatshirts, right?
So teams from 1 to 4, they can jump as much as they want, but teams below 5, if they jump above the leaf and drop the leaf from below 5, then that turns into a Boston pick.
Well, I gotta be honest. This whole lottery thing, I've always felt it was rigged. I mean, look what happened last year. The Islanders got the first pick. They were not one of the top teams with the ping pong balls. I think they were like the ninth team in the lottery order, and lo and behold, they got the number 1 pick, which turned into Matthew Schaefer. And I've always said this, that to me it was a conspiracy because the NHL took the All-Star game away from the Islanders 2 years ago, and they said, you know what, we'll give you the number 1 pick to make you happy. So if I'm the NHL and I'm rigging that lottery this year, hello, New York, big market here. Hello, Gavin McKenna, big market, New York. Hello. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So that'll be one thing to look forward to.
By the way, last order of the day,
Last order of the day.
Since we are a show called Save and Beauty.
Yes.
For the last 2 years, Connor Hellebuck has taken home the Vezina Trophy.
Yes, they announced the finalists for the Vezina yesterday.
Yes, I was getting to that. Thank you, Rob, for taking my thunder.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So for the 3rd year in a row, Connor Hellebuck will not be taking the Vezina Trophy.
Ooh. And who are our finalists, Ishmael?
Okay, I'll be reading them out. So the first from Islanders, Ilya Sorokin. That's the first finalist.
Boo.
From the Bruins, Jeremy Swayman.
Okay,
And
that's nice American boy.
from the I was about to say Buccaneers. From the Lightning.
Buccaneers.
Same thing.
I was thinking football. From the Lightning.
Boston Buccaneers.
From the Lightning, Andre Vasilevsky.
And again, we talked about him earlier. I mean, he's not. I mean, I understand it's a regular season vote, but he's not really doing anything in the playoffs. But and Vasilevsky's won. Early prediction. I'm gonna give it, even though I don't want to say this. I'm gonna give it to Sorokin.
I believe so. Yes.
When did they announce the other categories? They'll be coming up as we go along, I guess.
They announced the finalists for Ted Lindsay Award. So that's
one of my
McDavid,
favorites.
Kucherov, and Macklin Celebrini.
Can they come up with new names? McDavid in every fucking award. Jesus Christ.
Right?
Excuse me.
Give someone else a chance. God.
When do they announce the Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I haven't heard
That hasn't been announced yet, but
No, I
it'll
know
come soon.
that. I'm saying, when do they announce it? Do you know?
I'm not sure. No.
Okay, whatever. You look it up. We'll get back to us next week.
Yeah.
All right. So, bottom line is, boys and girls, we will have other
we
awards.
just care about goalies. That's it.
Just care about goalies. That's all we care about here.
Amen.
We're a goalies. We'll have other awards that will be announced between our show tonight and next week, and we'll be happy to let Ishmael read them off to you guys next week. So, that being said, unless we have anything else to talk about, I think it's time for
one
us to...
announcement.
Oh, we have an announcement.
One announcement, and I'm pretty sure like our female viewers might like this one more. But the first female assistant head coach, Jessica Campbell, is leaving Seattle. She's stopping for a new team. Hey,
Surprised that Ishmael, who was a big fan of the PWHL, didn't have that news.
she's
Ishmael,
not
what's going on? You
PWHL.
dropped the ball. You're a big PWHL fan, Ishmael. What's going on with you?
She's not PWHL.
Oh,
She's
no?
the Seattle Kraken's assistant head coach, but no longer.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Oops. Well, you know what? Because your sound kind of got choppy over there. I couldn't
It's all
understand what
good.
you were saying. I apologize.
It's all good.
Well, there you
Oh
go.
my goodness. Oh my damn. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I mean, look, between my songs next week for teams that I'm going to say goodbye to and Ishmael's wonderful sound effects, I mean, where else would you want to be next week?
It's
Seriously.
like a party.
I can't think of any other place I'd want to be.
It's a party for sure.
It's a party. It's a party. But that being said, I'm going to go to a party now and have dinner, sit back and watch 2 really exciting hockey games. So I think we'll say goodbye now. I have nothing else to talk about.
Nope, me neither.
Ishmael, anything else from you?
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Thank you, Donnie. I appreciate that. Oh, boy. The production here is just getting better and better. It's unbelievable. Well, that being said, we want to thank everybody for tuning in for the latest episode of Saving a Beauty. Please feel free to follow us, watch us, leave comments, curse at us, make funny faces at us, tell Ishmael to shave his stupid... Thank you. I'm done. All right. Anyway,
Okay.
guys, just say Just say goodbye.
Good night. Goodbye. See you later.
Goodbye.